personal attachment you have for Europe, and this is something we really highly appreciate. We have been speaking about the fact that the last 4 years were not easy, and that the world changed dramatically, and Europe has changed. But it is for us really important to reassure you that we are your friends, and it's wonderful to have you as friends back here. We're allies, we share the same values, we share the same interests, we have the same worldview, and we're aware that we need to team up and join up to tackle the big challenges we have ahead of us. So from our side, a very, very warm welcome to Brussels and to Europe.
Well, thank you both very much. It's been one of the great pleasures getting to know you both more personally in terms of our official positions. And we're at the G7, and again today, I apologize. I kept my colleagues in the closed meeting. But I want to, this is, I haven't been back to Brussels in the EU since 2017. And since back then, also the first summit back in 2014. But I brought the 18 with me today. And I've said both publicly and privately that America's back, and which is why we're here in full force. I'm happy to have with me today the members of my cabinet, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. He suffers from the problem of having worked with me for years. And also Trade Representative Ambassador Kathy Tai, who has made some real progress already. And Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, who was a first-rate governor and one of the brightest people that we've worked with, and agreed to come on as our Secretary of Commerce. And one of the things that you and I were talking about will come as no shock to either of you. Europe is our natural partner. And the reason is we're committed to the same democratic norms and institutions, and they are increasingly under attack. And I've said before, and I apologize to repeat. I Jake Sullivan, Jake is my national security advisor. I'm leaving out a lot of people here. I apologize. I'm going to get in trouble. But anyway, we'll get back to that. But there's a lot that is happening. I used to always, my friends would kid me in the United States Senate, because I served there, for always quoting Irish poets. I think I quoted Irish poets because I'm Irish. That's not the reason. I quote them because they're the best poets in the United States. But all kidding aside, there's a stanza from a poem of an Irish poet who was just lost. He said, "All's changed utterly. A terrible beauty has been born." I think all has changed in the last 10, 12 years, and it's not because of any one person. I think we're in the midst of a terrible beauty having been born, a great shift in technology, a great shift in development in the world, and it's causing great anxiety in each of our countries and uncertainty among many of our colleagues of what's going to be their place in the world. They're going to be replaced by new technology. Are they going to no longer have a job? And what are they going to do? And that comes along at the same time that also generates, when uncertainty is generated politically like that by individuals, it also generates some folks who are less than, how can I say it, somewhat more like charlatans, trying to take advantage of those concerns. And we see it in Europe, we see it in the United States, we've seen it around the world, this phony populism. So it seems to me that the best answer to deal with these changes is that to have a circumstance where our economies grow and they grow together, and they grow still based on the value set that united us in the first place. And I think we do share just the same basic values of human dignity, human rights. My colleagues, I'll be very colloquial with you. My dad had a transition where in the city we lived in, coal was dying. Is no longer relevant. Though he was not, my great-grandfather was a coal miner. He was a mining engineer. But when in northeastern Pennsylvania, when coal died, my dad was a salesperson, and the economy collapsed, and we moved to another part where there were jobs down in Delaware, just across the Pennsylvania border. And my family, my siblings and I would hear him often use the following expression. He said, "Joe, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. It's about being able to look your child in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it." I think we sometimes forget that. It's about the dignity of the worker and them being able to hold their head high. And so I think we have an enormous opportunity if we think in terms of these changes, particularly in terms of global warming. If we think of it in terms of jobs, the kind of jobs that we're going to have to create to preserve the environment are jobs that can pay well, that are going to be new technologies that working class, blue collar workers, as we say in the States, will be able to make more money, be able to do well. But we have to, all of us, accommodate those changes and provide for them. And so I think we have a lot to deal with, from COVID-19 to whether or not we're in a position that we can generate the kind of strengthening transatlantic trade and technological cooperation. They're sort of a different set of priorities with the same objective. How do like-minded countries sharing the same values work together to improve the living standard for not only our people, but for the rest of the world? And I think we have the capacity to do that. It's going to take an awful lot of hard work and determination. And I'll conclude by saying one of the reasons I'm optimistic is because of our younger generation. In Europe as well as the United States, the young generation, this one, is the best educated in American history. It is also the least prejudiced, the most open, and the most committed. And I think that we have reason to believe that if we provide the policies that are consistent to provide for the kind of growth and opportunity for them, and education plays a gigantic part of that, I think the future is very, very bright. I think we have an opportunity to do some really very good things. And with that, I should, as my mother would say, I should hush up and let this discussion move forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, can you address Boeing or Airbus?
Thank you.
No question.
Thank you, guys.